Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Fantasy Cup in the Great League, and we got a new team to feature. We're going to be running the Shadow Alolan Sandslash with the Shadow Claw fast move paired with the Azumarill and Tapu Fini in the back. Here we're going to be met with the Azumarill. This Azumarill versus this Shadow Claw Sandslash is going to be kind of neutral, as the Sandslash is able to control this matchup. As you can see, all we have to do is shield once here, and it's already into the yellow as they let a drill run through. So one drill run goes through, another one goes through. We farm down, anticipating a switch out, and indeed that's the case. I think that was a Lucario. So we switch out into our Azumarill, and we are matched with this Registeel Azumarill classic match. We do tank a Zap Cannon. We don't get the debuff. We go for the Hydro Pump right there. Huge Hydro Pump goes through, forcing our opponent to use some energy before we get to another move. Ends up being the Focus Blast. We survive the Focus Blast. It allows us to go for this Play Rough chip damage. So we got it into the red. We can potentially farm it down later, but we decide to go in with our Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini here gets a little bit of an energy head start. We go for one Surf here. One Surf is going to get a shield from our opponent. And now we have a decision to make. Are we going to go for the bait call, or are we going to shield here? We decide to go for the bait call. Ends up being the close combat right there. So it was a huge amount of damage, even though it was resisted. But since they are debuffed, we are able to farm down for the win. So GG's to our opponent right there, able to wiggle out of that backline double steal team. Next game, let's see what we find. Alolan Sandslash here versus this Haxorus. We got to get out of here. This is probably going to be counter Haxorus. And that's the case. So we're going to be matched up with the Mirror Azumarill. We have the energy advantage. So all we have to do here is just go for these play roughs. This play rough does go through, and our opponent here is going to try to time the next one. We're going to let it go because we don't know what move they have. Most likely they have the play rough. That's why they probably switched in. So this is pretty standard. We're just going to go play rough for play rough, and then it's going to come down to whether who wants to switch and who's going to be investing the shields here. The good news is they don't really have a hard counter to this Azumarill, as they switched in their own Azumarill to our Azumarill. So that gives us an indication that they don't really have anything for our Azumarill. So you can see right here, this Haxorus is looking for the farm down. We do get a player up to go through. We get the shield, and then our opponent does get the farm down with the Haxorus. Haxorus knows a variety of moves here: Breaking Swipe, Serve, Night Slash, Earthquake. So we're going to let this first one go through. Ends up being the Breaking Swipe bait, and our opponent does get the debuff, so we immediately switch out. This is most likely going to be the Earthquake. We do shield the Earthquake correctly, and then here we're going to make sure we throw. Okay, we're going to CAP tie actually, and this potentially could be an Earthquake, so we're going to shield here. Great shield by us, and that allows us to have more control. We go for the Serve. It does take it out. Our opponent here does go for the what is this? Excavalier in the back. This Excavalier is going to be able to shield once they do, and they're going to be able to get to another move. Drill run goes through, takes out the Tapu Fini, and now we got a race. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think we could have made it to that drill run, but you can see here, we were one fast move away from being able to get to that drill run. Maybe it would have made the difference, but GG's to our opponent right there. Kind of a tough game with that Haxorus lead. All right, Mirror Sandslash. This is always tricky. It all depends on shields and baiting situation. We're going to throw the Ice Punch here, and our opponent does shield. This is very scary, not going to lie. Both me and my opponent don't want to get a one-hit KO'd, especially this early on. But you can see our opponent does find out that we won the CAP, so they decide to switch out into their Azumarill. We go for the drill run right there to get some chip damage. And then we switch into a Azumarill. Once again, we have the mirror, but we do have the health advantage. So if we play this out, we should be able to come out with some energy, and we should be able to maintain alignment. But right now, we basically have the same team. We don't know what's in the back. Opponent here is going to be able to... are they going to be able to tank this play rough? Let's see. Yes, they are able to tank that, but that's not necessarily good for them, as we are able to farm down with some extra energy. So that's just going to make us go to this Hydro Pump. We're just going to get this shield or get some big damage. Our opponent ends up trying to call a bait, but ends up not working out for them. And then they actually have the Haxorus in the back. So Haxorus in the back with the counter. Not necessarily great for the Sandslash, so we just sacked it. Our opponent here has a decision to make. Are they going to go for the Earthquake or are they going to go for the bait? Unfortunately for them, we do shield the Earthquake and they're going to GG quit because they have to get to another Earthquake energy just to take out our Tapu Fini. And in that time, we should be able to do enough damage to get it low enough. So GG's and on to the next game. So we have the Registeel versus this Shadow Alolan Sandslash. We don't want to see this Reggie in the back, so we're going to try our best to either get this low enough or take it out. Huge drill run goes through, gets it into the yellow already. We're going to automatically shield here. This is an easy shield. They go for the Zap Cannon, anticipating a switch. Very interesting. So that allows us to just go for an Ice Punch right here. They do shield the Ice Punch, and then we're going to switch out right here, trying to catch their Focus Blast. But I don't think this is going to be a catch. Okay, ends up being the Zap Cannon. They do debuff right here. And they have the Togetic in the back. So, interesting team that they have so far. Rich still being protected by a Togetic. Haven't seen too many of these, but it is able to learn a variety of moves here. Arrow Ace. And what else? We're just going to go for these play roughs as soon as we have it, because we want to pressure some damage or some shields. We at least get this low enough. So now that we have this low enough, we have a decision. We can go with the Tapu Fini for our Sandslash. We decided to go with Tapu Fini to get some energy head start. They go for the Dazzling Gleam right there, so huge damage. They had the Azumarill in the back. We're going to switch right back into our Sandslash. As we know, this Sandslash has a pretty decent matchup against the Registeel and Azumarill. At this point, we know the Registeel is pretty low. Here, we're going to shield. They end up using a play rough right here. Let's see if our opponent ends up shielding or not. They decide to shield, and then we're going to try to CAP tie right here. It looks like we do get the CAP tie, which is huge because we get this drill run damage, and we get them to use this energy right here. If this KOs, we're going to be able to come back in with our Tapu Fini and then potentially farm down. Yep, it looks like a farm down opportunity. They still can catch, so we're going to make sure we are patient. They decided to try to catch a move, and unfortunately that does not happen. We are able to get to another Surf with our Tapu Fini for the KO against this Registeel. So not bad right there. GG's to our opponent right there. And we got one more game to feature. So far, if you haven't figured it out, the Shadow Alolan Sandslash is being protected by 2 water types and 2 fairies in the back. So this team kind of is ABV, but it's a pretty free-flowing game. Another mirror matchup here. Once again, we're just going to throw the move as soon as we have it. This time they win CAP tie, so we got to keep that in mind. They go for the Ice Punch bait, and so are we. We both end up, and we both shield. And now that we know that we lose CAP, we're not going to throw on timing. We're going to allow them to throw a move here. They go for the drill run KO, and this is going to allow us to overfarm a little bit. We're going to throw this drill run. They actually catch it on a Azumarill. This is Azumarill here. We're going to try to catch. Oh, we're going to go for another drill run here to get it low. Let's see if we try to catch a move. Okay, we try to catch a move right here. Our opponent is able to be patient with it and not waste their energy. It could have been a variety of things. Oh, there you go. It could have been the Hydro Pump. So we do inadvertently catch the ineffective move, but the fact that they throw a Hydro Pump even after all that means they don't have play rough. So we're going to be able to farm down. And then here, we're just going to force them to use some energy. This has to be drill run. Doesn't quite take it out. So we're going to go for this play route. This player will potentially take out this Sandslash. Let's see if they care about it. They don't. And they reveal that they have this Stuntus in the back here. So far, we have now revealed that we have a Hydro Pump, have we? So we're going to farm up to the Hydro Pump. This is going to get a huge damage or last shield. Now that we have Hydro Pump to go through, they know that they have to take out this Azumarill as soon as possible. Unfortunately for them, we have another water type in the back. This Tapu Fini is going to be able to tank this Rock Slide right here. And because they use double Rock Slide right here, we're going to be able to get to this start before they get to an Earthquake. So this is GG's. Well played by us. And yeah, check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.